And hello to all my Aquarius friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free Psychic Tarot reading for October 2023. Now today they have dialed up for my great Aquarians a Celtic Cross spread. Celtic Cross is a great spread for general readings because it looks a little bit in the past, a little bit in the future, but it focuses the most on what is going on right here today, which in this case it is October. It is also the only spread that I do that devotes an entire card and a position to the environment. So there's something around you Aquarians in the month of October that they want you to be aware of. So we're going to look into that. They've asked that I conclude your reading with something very fun that I like to do quite a bit. It is very fun, called animal totems. They want me to do 2 of them for you guys, so it'll be transitional. Moving out of one animal, the characteristics, pulling those out, and getting you to move into the characteristics of the secondary animal. So we're going to look into that as well. We're also going to be doing some moon cycles, which I always do, rune stones, which I always do, ending with a fun one called chemistry tracking. We're going to see what Aquarians, what signs are kicking good with in the month of October, what signs maybe Aquarians should avoid and are going to be not vibing with so well also in October. The extra spread we talked about, and then we're going to conclude your reading with something I call a homily, which is a little spiritual pep talk done by me. So let's get started, guys. The cards are already shuffled. Do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time, and now I'm going to bring you in my overhead so you can watch. I like to share my table with you, show you what's going on. And there we go, we're live and recording. These are my ritual cuts, cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. Then we're ready to run your Celtic Cross. Same procedure for personal private reading, so it's just like you're here with me now, guys. And get ready, here we go, Celtic Cross. Before I start pulling cards, hit that like button, guys. Build up the energy in here. My Aquarians here have fallen off on the like championship here, the like race a little bit, so we got to get you guys going here. Cannot let your sign down. Hit that like button. It's like giving me a little tip as well too. Helps me out. So here we go, guys. Here's your Celtic Cross. This is you and all that you are. This is what crosses you. This is what's before you, the recent past. This is what's in front of you, the near future. This is what's above you, something that you're aware of. This is what's below you, something that you're not, and I love that position. It's my favorite one to read. Then we got running up the sides here, guys. Let's see if you can see it. Almost, not quite. 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. You're not going to be able to see. I'll try to bend it in for the sake of camera. It's up there. I'm going to show you all around in just a minute, so bear with me. There we go. So the inverts. We got some stuff upside down here, guys. And actually not enough to matter, though. It's a good distribution. We're going to leave that the way it is. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, yep. Okay, that part is good. Now I do need to check a couple things here. Got to see if this king is about a person. They say no. I think that's my only court card. It is. So now I just need to get an angel card for every major arcana card. We got one here. One here. You guys got a lot of major arcanas as it turns out in this one. One here, and one here. And I know I'm definitely off the screen now. Don't worry, I'm going to show you here right now. Show you what we're working with. I don't attach anything else to the Celtic Cross. This is pretty much all I do. So here is your main cross. Right there. So there's the core, the crux of the cross, if you will. The above position. The previous position in the past. The future position there with hangman inverted. Co-create. And then here, something that you're not aware of. And then running up the sides here, that's number 7. That'll be number 8 position, your environment. Number 9 position there. And number 10, final outcome. So let's get to work. All right, Aquarius, let's do it. No time like showtime. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Aquarius, they first show that what's coming in here as you is a very peaceful vibe. Very kind of hippie, like, hey, things are cool, man. Everything is all right. That's a good energy to come in with. I like that. So very calm. A little maybe break from the busy. Maybe it was busy before, and now you're coming into a peaceful era. I don't know. Something like that. Anyway, find peace. Don't put your guard up. It is not a time to go at it. Now, here's what crosses you guys is making good financial decisions, good energetic give and take, return on investments. A lot of you guys have been thinking either about investments, whether it's in your health, investing in yourself for your health, something like that, or something financial, money moves, that kind of thing. They show a lot of you have that on the brain right now. Now, as we go into the past position here, this is something that is got to carry over to your month. It's something very, very relevant, very important. Now, they show a social imbalance going on in the recent past, and it's still affecting your October here. So let me tell you what this could be. It's one of two extremes. It's either the extreme that's like, hey, you're having too much fun, too much partying, too much spending money and living lavishly. Or it's the opposite of that, where you're not doing anything fun, you're not having fun with friends, you're sitting at home like a couch potato, that kind of thing. So what we need here is we need a nice balance, because either one of those is, either extreme is not a very good extreme. We need a nice little equilibrium to be had there. And that is still affecting your October, so Spirit's basically saying, hey, Aquarius, get this fixed. If you're not hanging out with any friends, go hang out with some friends. If you're seeing your friends all the time, hey, maybe it's time to pull the reins back a little bit, work on yourself, and to spend a little bit more time with your family. So there are some examples for you. Now, when we get into your future position, they show that things are going to start getting moving here, actually. Probably near future, because we have the hangman inverted. It basically means not being hung up any longer. So things are going to be shaking free here. I don't exactly know when, but they describe it as near future, guys. And they talk about co-create here. So a lot of you are considering doing things with other people here, building things with other people as a unit, maybe like a family type thing. Or if it's like a work project, for example, it would be like you and a friend coming together to make this business or something like that. So you're doing something with other people is what they talk about in your near future. Your above position here, they talk about, this is something you're aware of, so I'm not telling you anything new, but it's still relevant because they want to talk about, or I guess applaud, how well you guys have been mentally. Mentally, Aquariuses, you guys have been sharp, you've been authoritative, you have been on point, and they want to let you know that. Probably so you can keep being all those great things. Don't let it up now, okay? Keep up that same energy. Now, before I get into this bottom position, this is the elusive one. This is the part you don't know about. I want to tell you about the moon cycles because it is relevant for, kind of looking down the line here, they're both strong enough here that you guys can implement either of them. Spirit is not highlighting any specific one, but basically just a quick run through the moon cycles. I'm going to give you guys a very special moon cycle next month, so this is going to be a quick one. But as we enter the month, guys, of October, early in the month, we're still dealing with full moon energy from September. This is a good time to get stuff out of your life. But I don't want you to focus on that right now because we have stronger full moon in October at the end. But that's what happens as we enter October. Right here in the middle of October, we get into the new moon. It's the same cycle as last month. It's the 14th again. That is when your new moon hits, and that is the best time to bring new things into your life. Bring it in. Start new diets. Start something new with budgeting. Start a new job. Start a new project. Whatever it is. If it's new, it falls under that new moon, guys. A great time to do it middle of the month. So it's kind of like a third, and a third as far as the month is concerned. Your first third is full. Your middle third is new. Bring it in. And then we go back to the full again here on the 28th. That is when the full moon hits in October. And that is the best time to get things out of your life, guys. Get it out. Purge people. Purge things. Break bad habits. If it is externalizing it, getting it out of your way, it is full moon energy. Best placed under that. If any of that confuses you or you'd like a graphic aid, I put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. It is always on my website, scottsagent.com. I update it every month for you guys there. So give you a little visual aid, a little strength as you go through your month. And you can align certain things to it too. Take advantage of those energies that are already there. So when we get into your bottom position here, they talk about that something you don't know here is that the information is all there. You have access to it all. There's nothing being kept from you. No shadowy stuff here. You guys are seeing this clearly. They're letting me know you don't view it that way, though. So they're letting you know things are actually more clear than you think they are. For some of you, too, this can be about going back to school, learning something new, getting accredited, getting a certification for something, or hiring your education, something like that. So they're basically saying that the veil is wide open as far as knowledge and wisdom is concerned. And they talk about with your people here. So this may not be something you do alone. This may be, something you do with a close friend of yours. Hey, we talked about the business example earlier, right? Hey, me and my friend, we're going to open this business. Hey, me and my friend are also going to go and take a workshop to learn how to do budgeting or learn how to do Excel books or whatever it is you're trying to do here, guys. So it's doing it with other people, doing it with your tribe in your close group. So really, really nice energy there for information. When we move into number 7, this is running up the sides here. This is your advice from Spirit. Spirit talks about you guys selling something. A lot of my Aquarius here got to sell something in the month of October, and it's no better time to do that. Hey, guess what, guys? That is full moon energy. We already talked about that. So focus on that. If you got something to sell, I would post it either early October or very late. You want to avoid the middle. Moving up there, now we get into your environment. This is what the whole Celtic Cross was about. This is what they wanted to talk to you about the most. And in your environment, they talk about legal different definitions here, but let me start with one. In a general reading, I try to give it to you all, guys, but that is why a personal private reading trumps them all. It is the best way to go because we're not dealing with the Aquarius bubble energy of all my great Aquariuses here, where it's all about you, personalized to you. It's much more specific. And I offer a wide variety of services on my website that are just for you on scottsagent.com. There's something for everybody there, so I encourage you all to get that done and get your information that you need here. So in a general reading, what I have to read this as is that this can be something legal that is looming. Something legal, contracts, agreements, something you put your signature on, anything in writing would fall under this, something nearby, okay? Or it's the secondary definition, which is more karmic, that this is more like karma returning to you in your environment. If you've been doing good things in your environment, your space around you, your house, your living space, your workspace, your close proximity, you're going to be getting those returns in October. So that's very good too. Now, karma works both ways. So if you've been doing bad things in those places, bad things are going to come back to you too. But what they're showing here is much more positive energy. So looking very good. And they show a lot of you actually kind of know this, but Spirit feels they need to reinforce it. So even though you may know what I'm talking about here, Spirit is saying, hey, yeah, but don't forget. Don't forget how important that is. Don't forget that you need to keep doing these things so you keep getting these returns back, the karmic pull. When we move up from there, now we get into hopes and fears. This is either a car. I feel like it's less about a car here and probably the other definition that's being used. And this is energy that is basically moving. So it's actually saying you need to pull this apart in two places. It's actually saying, some of you are a little too tunnel visioned with things. You're not seeing the peripheral enough. So they actually are saying it's actually okay to spread your energy out either between two things, two places, or basically just, you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket. You can spread it out a little bit here. That's what they show for hopes and fears. So a lot of you obviously are afraid of putting energy into something else. Some of you are hopeful for that, and if that's the case, that's wonderful too, but this is your kind of indicator or signal from Spirit saying, hey, this is a good time to spread this out. Good time to put eggs into another basket. Invest in something else, something like that. They show mending in here, so they're letting me know that some of you are dealing with putting things back together here. And I don't want to override the car definition of this too much because the Chariot can also be transportation. So if some of you have been worried about the car or hopeful about a car, they show that this is also a surgical procedure being put back together, maybe repaired in some form or something like that. And then we end your month here, guys, with a very mixed message because they start with the World card inverted, which basically means incomplete. So the month doesn't get wrapped up the way you necessarily want it to, but it's still sweet. There's something still really good about it, even though it's not done. So it's letting you know here, Aquarius, is that even though you don't maybe finish the project or finish what your goal is for October, if you don't get it done by October, maybe it takes a couple weeks into November, who's to say, but it's okay because the timeline is very sweet where you're at right now. They show milk and honey there, so it's all things good, all things nice and creamy and sweet is basically what they show there. So it actually ends very well, even though it's not fully complete. Don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. It's okay. It can be completed at another time. So there we go with your Celtic Cross. I'm going to grab the Rune Stone, guys, while I'm looking at everything. All right, so here is your Rune Stone. Aquarius, they gave you protection. So they're letting you know you are protected. It's obviously some of you are afraid of something there in the hopes and fears that we just read there about something, about doing something with your energy here. And the Spirit is letting you know you do not need to be afraid. They got you. The angels got you. They got your back. They're working overtime for you. And this month specifically, they're letting you know that you are protected. You are not vulnerable. You are a strong warrior, and you can charge after whatever it is that you're trying to do, guys. So very good Rune Stone for you guys. We've been over your moon cycles. Really quick, want to tell you about the Pet Connect reading. While it's still at its introductory low rate, Pet Connect is a great way to connect to your loved pets that have been deceased. I've done a few of them now, and the people really love them. In fact, I put together, based on those based on the response from it, I put together a little video to show you guys all about the Pet Connect and how it started and all that stuff. So that is available now on the website, scottsagent.com, as well as on the product section, as well as even on YouTube. You can find the Pet Connect video, the promo video. So that is something worth checking out, guys, too. Okay, Aquarius, I am back. Possibly awkwardly cutting into your video right here because I forgot to do your animal totems, and I just realized it, and I can't be forgetting to do that. I got to give you 2 animal totems, in fact. So anyway, the cards are ready to go here. Let's get moving with your animal totem. Of course, not forgetting to do that. First one, let's see. Refer to my list here. We have a buffalo, big fella. We got you moving out of buffalo energy, and we got you moving into cat. Moving into cat energy from Buffalo. Well, first of all, the size difference is massive. So you might have needed to be big and large in your September, but October is calling for a much smaller version of you. So you don't got to be so large and in charge and seen and visible and front and center. The cat is also 9 lives, right? So there are more opportunities, risks to be had in the month of October than September. Keep that in mind. Also moving away from the buffalo, which is much more of a herd animal, bunch of whole buffaloes together in a group. The cat don't do that. Sometimes you see a couple cats together, but more so they're more individualistic energy. So this is kind of the month where you can get away from your herd and do things by yourself, a little bit of isolationism too. But at the same time, very cerebral, being very smart, because the buffalo here, he's got defense mechanism in his size, in his group, and with his little nubbly horns there too. So predators don't want to mess with him so much. Whereas the cat, especially like a household cat is what we're pulling here, because I have other animals for lion, tiger, and leopard, and jaguar, and stuff like that. They didn't give you that. They gave you cat. So cat doesn't have those defense mechanisms, so they're saying, you need to choose your battles here wisely in the month of October. Be a little smart and calculated. Cat's got claws, he's got teeth, but that'll only get you so far. So I would be much more cautious about what you get involved in, even though you have the 9 lives, and can take risks. And of course, if there's anything else I forgot from buffalo into cat, I will write that in the text above my head. Now let's get jumping back into your reading wherever I left off, which is probably somewhere between chemistry, tracking, and homily. So the last couple things we're getting into, first of all, is chemistry tracking, guys. Chemistry tracking, I told you, this is where we look into what you guys are kicking well with and what you're not. They gave Aquarius a very fascinating one. I love it when they do this. This is actually the first month, well, I've only been doing this 2 months, the chemistry tracking one here, but last month, no signs got this. But this sign, Aquarius, was one of about 33%, 1/3 of all my signs got this. So Aquarius, they show you being weak connected to Capricorn. Capricorn is a weak connection to Aquarius. I'm not sure if that just means the energy is a little segmented, a little off, needs a little bit of work, or it's just going to be a little challenging. But then they showed your strong connection is also to Capricorn. So they show basically when they did this. Spirit is saying, hey, it's going to be either great or it's going to be not so great. It is going to be nowhere in the middle. It's probably likely going to be one extreme or the other. Things are either going to be wonderful with Capricorn or things are going to be extremely challenging. And it's probably a mixed audience group. So they're letting you know, those of you who have Capricorns in your lives, that to be ready for that. And hopefully you'll be on the good side of that. And if not, you got to switch it. You got to turn that hate into love very, very quickly. So that is something that you guys are not alone on. A bunch of other signs got that too. So they're letting you know very high peaks with Capricorn, but also very low vibes with Capricorn as well in potential. So all that is available right there, guys, in potentiality. So let's get into your homily, and that will conclude what I think has been a very interesting read here for my great Aquariuses, guys. So let's go into your homily. Hey guys, Scott Sagent here, and it is time for your homily 2023 October edition. Today I want to talk a little bit about a realization I had, kind of an inspiration through a tarot card, and it was the 3 of Wands. I'm going to float a little picture of it up on the screen here for you so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the 3 of Wands from what I call my brown tarot deck. I think it depicts the picture very well. And I'm doing the background here to try to match the energy of that as well here for you too. So anyway, this realization I had is that this woman looking out on the edge of a waterway, maybe in some decks it's a cliff, basically the end of your property, looking out to what chapter is next. It also has to do about chapters in your life. So what is coming next for you? And it made me realize how many people actually don't do things. We wait until the right time to do things. Well, as Buddha says, the mistake that people make is thinking that they have time. And, of course, I terribly misquoted that, I'm sure, but you get the gist, is people put things off and then they end up never doing it. If you go and ask anybody who's successful in a business or who's, gone back to school to take accreditation for a credit course or something they need for college or a master's degree or something like that, anybody who's gone back and done the work, if you go and ask them, hey, do you wish you would have waited to do that a little bit longer? Or do you wish you would have done it earlier? They're either going to tell you that they're happy they did it when they did it, or they wish they would have done it earlier. There's almost nobody who says, oh, you know what? I wish I would have taken that dream trip to Europe, a few years after the fact that I did it. No, most people would have liked to have gone earlier. Maybe they found something they really liked there and would really like to go back and see again. Well, that never happens if you wait for too long, right? And it's just like another example, another silly example, of course, but it's I just discovered a new restaurant nearby my house that I really like. It's actually like a Oriental buffet, and in my head I'm just thinking, yeah, no, all the buffets are the same. They're similar. They're almost all, a little bit different here, a little bit different there, but overall it's the same idea, same concept. Well, I went and I tried this place, and it blows everything else away that I've ever eaten in the area. So this is something, for example, if I had discovered this Oriental buffet the last couple weeks of when I was living in the town that I'm living in, I would have been very upset. I'd be like, oh man, I could have been coming here this whole time. I could have been coming here for years. And instead, I missed this opportunity because I just waited forever. And it's just like so many people want to start businesses and never do. I know somebody who wanted to make candles. They go and buy all the supplies, have everything ready to make a candle business, and then never made a single candle. And it's just like, why? Why wait for the opportune time that may or may not ever come? And just like this card is showing this woman looking out onto the, expanse of the horizon, what is next? Well, what next for you is what's important for you. And the only thing that I would try to encourage from this homily is to not wait for too long, because you never know the timing. The timing sometimes has to be better than it does. If the timing is way off, of course, that's a different deal. But for most people, the timing's either they're unsure of it for other reasons. Maybe they're holding themselves back. That's what happens most of the time. We are our own worst enemies at the end of the day. But at the end of the day, you also need to take risks. You need to do things while you still have the time. And the time is now if you're thinking about it right now. And that's even further reiteration of why you need to go and do things somewhat presently. You don't want to wait for too long. You never know what's going to change between now and then. If you want to go start a business, go start a business. If you want to go start a gym membership or go start a new health kick, go do that. Don't just wait around forever to do it. Wait for the right time. Sometimes you just got to take that little leap of faith. And of course, it is never too late in life. But remember that it is also never too early. So I hope you've enjoyed your homily. I hope you guys have enjoyed the reading as well. Please remember to like and subscribe. I do these every single month. Take care. Have a great October. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.